No, but I think I want to go back to we're starting. I get that we're talking about two things: the team and then the starting the business from scratch. But let's go back to this setting standards yourself, because if you are a founder,
yes,
right, you can't just sort of float along and start a business and not really know what you're about.
You can, but it's not going to really go very far.
How do you then set those standards for yourself? How do you make decisions about what's our strategy? What are we in this for? Why am I turning up every day? And we talked about this last week about what gets people in a business. Why do they do it? What's driving them? I think you need to decide that.
You do.
Probably before day one.
You do, and I think if you've got a good idea or a good product and you go and build around that, that's one thing, right? And that kind of morphs on its own way. But if you've got you're trying to bring a service, and the service has a standard and you've got an expectation that this is what we're going to grow into, then you do need to set that standard from the start. You need to say, right, this is what we're about. These are our standards. Because if you want to bring talent, legitimate talent into the business, they need to be joining for something. They're not just going to go and join because you're
just going to be like everyone else.
Right? It's like, well, you're a bit of a risk, you're pretty small. But if you actually can walk in and say, this is what we're going for, this is what we're here for, this is what we're aiming for, and if you join this business, this is what your life will be like, this is what your clear pathway will be. That's the exciting part to me. That's when you start to differentiate yourself from all the other businesses. Anyone can go to get a job anywhere, but if you want to drag good talent in, you want to build a real business that you're not going to be peddling for the rest of your life in, this is one of the ways that you do it. Set some standards, set some behaviours.
That seems to me as important.
I'm getting excited.
As the boring stuff I just said. But
no, you're more important.
If you don't have that underlying mission, values,
you get 3-4 months.
How we do business, and it just means nobody knows what the rules are.
Yep. Well, they make their own.
You become a price taker.
Yep.
You're reactive.
Yep.
You're not planning anything, and
you can't manage anyone because there's no standards.
Yep.
And if you leave a void for people to move into, good or bad, they'll take it.
Yeah.
So you've got to create some boundaries, but good boundaries, growth boundaries around people by setting minimum standards. And I think that this is something that's overlooked. It's something that people intend to do, but they get caught in the minutiae of the first 100 days. And there's so many things to think about. And they forget that if they don't have this team humming like a missile, like this, in the same direction, you're going to be fighting fires for the next 2 and 3 years. You're going to be having one in, one out.
Yep.
You're never going to be able to get some traction on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you think that's enough on that, or do you want to do some more?
I just bring it contextually to what's going on in the world. We're not going to pretend like it's not happening, right? That if you don't have those groundings, when you do get hit, when the boat is being rocked, it's really hard to stay the course because you've got nothing to lean on.
There's no grounding. There's no grounding.
It's what are we doing?
So everyone looks around. Who's the leader here? What are we doing?
Why are we here? Why are we in business?
Yeah.
And if when things are good, it's easy.
It's actually a good chance to reset that though. When you do hit the rocks, like now, is to say, you know what, we didn't do this so well last time. Here's our chance. Let's reaffirm our mandate.
That's right.
Let's
take the time while it's
re-energise.
quiet.
That's right. Okay, that was okay.